Narrator. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast's Intermediate Guide series. Today we're focusing on a ubiquitous yet often underestimated communication tool, making phone calls. In our increasingly digital world where texts and emails often dominate, the ability to conduct a clear, effective, and professional phone conversation remains an indispensable skill. From scheduling appointments and clarifying details with colleagues to handling customer service inquiries or connecting with distant loved ones, phone calls demand a distinct set of linguistic and social competencies. How do you initiate a call confidently, clearly state your purpose, navigate unexpected turns in conversation, and conclude professionally, all without the benefit of visual cues? What verbal strategies, polite expressions, and active listening techniques are crucial for ensuring your message is understood and your needs are met? And from the perspective of receiving calls, how do you manage interruptions, take accurate messages, and maintain a helpful demeanor? This episode is designed to equip you with the essential vocabulary, structured approaches, and practical insights necessary to approach phone calls with confidence, clarity, and effectiveness. Today's discussion moves beyond simple greetings, delving into the nuances of professional etiquette, problem-solving over the phone, and adapting your tone for different contexts. We are privileged to host a conversation between Dr. Eleanor Vance, a communications consultant specializing in verbal proficiency and teleetiquette, and Mr. David Miller, the head of customer engagement at Global Connect Services, a prominent tech support firm located in the bustling financial district of London, specifically at 1 Canada Square in Canary Wharf. Their dialogue will illuminate the best practices and common pitfalls in phone communication, offering you a richer understanding of how to make every phone call a successful and productive interaction. So, let's explore the intricacies and strategies of truly mastering phone conversations. Eleanor. David, it's a genuine pleasure to connect with you. Your role at Global Connect Services places you at the forefront of managing countless phone interactions daily. From your vast experience, when an individual is about to make a phone call, especially a professional one, what are your initial, most crucial considerations for them to prepare? Do you believe in spontaneous calls, or is a brief pre-call mental checklist essential? David, Eleanor, the pleasure is entirely mutual. Your work on verbal communication is incredibly relevant to our operations. When preparing for a phone call, especially a professional one, a brief pre-call mental checklist is absolutely essential. Spontaneous calls, while sometimes unavoidable, often lead to disorganization or missed points. My initial considerations are always to define the objective of the call, anticipating what specific purpose I want to achieve or clarify. Then I think about what key information I'll need to provide or what questions I might be asked, often jotting down a few bullet points to keep me focused. It's also vital to consider the recipient. Who am I speaking to and what is our relationship? This helps tailor my tone and level of formality. I also think about optimal timing, ensuring I'm not interrupting a crucial period for them. Finally, an environment check is important. Am I in a quiet place with good reception, free from distractions? This brief preparation ensures purposeful engagement and reduces anxiety. Do you find that a lack of clear purpose is a common pitfall leading to unproductive phone conversations? Eleanor. Absolutely, David. Your emphasis on defining the objective and pre-call preparation is unequivocally fundamental. A lack of clear purpose is indeed one of the most common and frustrating pitfalls, leading to rambling conversations, wasted time for both parties, and often an unresolved issue. Without a specific goal, the call loses its direction. My research shows that callers who explicitly state their purpose within the first 15 to 30 seconds significantly increase the likelihood of a productive outcome. What specific verbal strategies do you employ to clearly and concisely state your purpose at the outset of a call, particularly when it's a cold call or an unexpected one? David. That's where a concise and polite opening becomes paramount, Eleanor. My primary strategy for clearly stating purpose, especially in a cold or unexpected call, involves a three-step approach. First, immediate identification such as, "Hello, this is David Miller from Global Connect Services." Second, a brief apology or acknowledgement of timing if needed, like, "I apologize for calling unexpectedly," or, "I hope I'm not catching you at a bad time." This sets a polite tone. Third, a direct statement of purpose, for example, "I'm calling regarding the service ticket you submitted yesterday about your network connectivity issue," or, I'm calling to follow up on the quote we sent last week. I also often add a benefit statement or time expectation up front, like, this call should only take a few minutes, or, I believe I can offer a solution to your problem. This provides immediate value and manages expectations. Do you find that active listening is even more critical in phone conversations due to the absence of visual cues? And if so, what techniques do you recommend? Eleanor. David, your structured approach to opening calls, identification, polite acknowledgement, and direct purpose, is a masterclass in teleetiquette. And yes, active listening is exponentially more critical in phone conversations precisely because visual cues are absent. We rely solely on auditory information, making it easy to miss nuances. I recommend several techniques. One is using verbal affirmations with small words like, I see, right, or okay, to signal you're following, though it's important to avoid overdoing it. Another is paraphrasing and summarizing. Periodically rephrase what the other person has said, for instance. So, if I understand correctly, you're experiencing intermittent connection drops, especially in the evenings. Is that right? This clarifies understanding and assures the speaker they're heard. Asking open-ended questions also encourages elaboration, such as, could you tell me more about that? Or, what exactly happens when you try to access the online portal? It's also crucial to avoid interruptions, allowing the other person to complete their thoughts before responding. Finally, taking brief notes, jotting down key details, names or action items, helps with retention and ensures accuracy. What strategies do you employ to manage challenging phone calls? For example, dealing with an upset client or someone who is rambling off topic, while maintaining professionalism. David. Eleanor, those active listening techniques are invaluable for any phone interaction. Managing challenging calls is a crucial part of my role, and it requires a blend of empathy and firm control. When dealing with an upset client, my first step is empathetic validation. I understand this must be very frustrating for you, or, I hear how important this issue is. This acknowledges their feelings without necessarily agreeing with their anger. Then I focus on problem solving. Let's see what we can do to resolve this for you. I use a calm, steady tone of voice and avoid escalating. If someone is rambling, I employ polite redirection. Thank you for sharing that. To ensure I address your main concern, could we focus specifically on original purpose? Or, that's interesting, but I want to make sure we get back to the network issue you called about. I might also interject with a specific question that brings them back on topic. Maintaining professionalism means avoiding defensiveness, remaining respectful, and focusing on a productive outcome. What are the common pitfalls individuals encounter when trying to sound professional on the phone, and how can they project confidence and clarity? Eleanor. David, your approach to managing difficult conversations, empathetic validation and polite redirection, is exactly what I advocate. The common pitfalls when trying to sound professional on the phone often stem from a lack of vocal control and linguistic precision. Individuals might speak too quickly, mumble, use too many filler words, like, or have a monotone voice, all of which convey uncertainty or disinterest. Another pitfall is using overly casual language in a formal context or, conversely, being overly stiff in a relaxed one. To project confidence and clarity, it's important to pace and enunciate by speaking at a moderate speed and articulating each word clearly. Cultivating vocal variety helps as you vary your tone and pitch to convey engagement and emphasis, avoiding a flat delivery. Maintaining a controlled volume ensures your voice is loud enough to be heard clearly without shouting. Consciously minimizing filler words by practicing pausing instead of filling silence with is also key. Using positive language and affirmative statements, while avoiding overly negative or apologetic phrasing unless truly warranted, helps. Finally, a subtle tip is to smile with your voice. A slight smile can subtly affect your tone, making it sound more approachable and positive, even if unseen. What role does effective note-taking play in the successful execution of complex phone calls? And what details should one prioritize? David. Eleanor, those tips for vocal projection are highly practical. Effective note-taking is absolutely crucial for the successful execution of complex phone calls. It serves as your external memory and ensures accountability. Without it, critical details are easily forgotten or misremembered, leading to errors and follow-up issues. When taking notes, I prioritize the date and time of the call for reference, and the caller's/recipient's name and contact info, always confirming spelling if unsure. I also capture the main purpose or topic of the call as a brief, clear headline, along with key details and facts like specific service agreement numbers, dates, amounts, or addresses, like the client's office at 221B Baker Street in London if applicable. It's vital to note action items, what needs to be done, by whom and by when, being very specific. I record agreed upon next steps and any reference numbers such as case IDs, ticket numbers, or order numbers. Finally, I make a point of listing important questions or clarifications that arose, and outlining my follow-up plan, when and how I will follow up. My goal is to capture enough detail so that anyone else reading my notes could understand the call's outcome and necessary actions. How do you approach the professional conclusion of a phone call, ensuring all parties feel heard and clear on next steps? Eleanor. David, your meticulous approach to note-taking is exemplary and directly contributes to operational efficiency. The professional conclusion of a phone call is as important as its opening, as it solidifies understanding and sets expectations for future interaction. My approach involves a three-part wrap-up. First, I summarize key points and decisions, briefly recapping the main takeaways and any decisions made, such as, so to summarize, we've agreed to proceed with the system upgrade, and I'll send you the revised timeline by end of day tomorrow. This ensures mutual understanding. Second, I state next steps and action items, clearly articulating who will do what next. My team will begin the system diagnostic immediately, and I'll call you back within 24 hours with an update. Third, I express gratitude and offer a formal goodbye, thanking them for their time and cooperation. Thank you for your time and assistance today, David. It was very helpful. Goodbye. This structured ending prevents lingering confusion and establishes a clear path forward. In your observations, how do cultural differences significantly influence phone call etiquette, especially regarding greetings, politeness, and directness? David. Eleanor, that structured conclusion is a perfect way to ensure clarity and professionalism. Cultural differences indeed profoundly influence phone call etiquette, often leading to subtle or even significant misunderstandings if not recognized. For example, in some cultures, a longer, more elaborate greeting, including inquiries about health or family, is standard before getting to business, while in others, a quick, direct, hello, name, is preferred. Many cultures value indirect communication and politeness, especially in formal or hierarchical contexts, where a no might be implied through hesitation or subtle phrasing rather than a direct refusal. Conversely, highly direct cultures expect clear, unambiguous language. The perception and use of silence also vary greatly. In some cultures, silence is comfortable and indicates thoughtful consideration, while in others, it might be perceived as awkwardness, disinterest, or even a lack of understanding. Even interrupting, while generally discouraged in professional Western contexts, is sometimes viewed in other cultures as a sign of engagement and enthusiasm. Finally, hierarchy plays a role. In hierarchical cultures, deferential language and specific titles might be crucial, while in more egalitarian cultures, a first-name basis is common. Understanding these nuances requires high cultural intelligence (CQ) and a willingness to adapt your communication style. What are the common pitfalls individuals fall into when trying to receive and handle phone calls, particularly in a professional setting, and how can they be avoided? Eleanor. David, your breakdown of cultural nuances is incredibly valuable for global communication. The common pitfalls when trying to receive and handle phone calls professionally often include lack of availability/responsiveness, not answering promptly or having a disorganized voicemail that discourages callers. Unpreparedness, answering without access to necessary tools, notes, calendar, computer, or information. A poor tone/demeanor, sounding distracted, bored, or irritable, which immediately alienates the caller. Ineffective message taking, failing to capture essential details, leading to incomplete or inaccurate relaying of information. This includes not confirming spellings of names or numbers. Putting callers on hold excessively/without warning, causes frustration and a feeling of being ignored. Not verifying identity, failing to confirm who they are speaking to, especially for sensitive information. Lack of follow-through, promising to call back or provide information and failing to do so. To avoid these, individuals should ensure a professional voicemail greeting, Always have a pen and paper or digital notepad ready. Consciously cultivate a positive and helpful tone. Confirm details like names, numbers, and action items. Use phrases like, "May I put you on hold for a moment?" when necessary. Prioritize timely callbacks. How do you believe the increasing reliance on digital communication, email, chat, impacts the importance of phone call skills in today's business environment, and what unique advantages do phone calls still offer? David, Eleanor, those pitfalls for receiving calls are spot on, and your advice for avoiding them is excellent. The increasing reliance on digital communication has certainly shifted the landscape, but it hasn't diminished the importance of phone call skills. Rather, it has arguably made them even more specialized and crucial for certain contexts. While email and chat are efficient for conveying information, documentation, and asynchronous communication, they often lack the nuance, immediacy, and personal connection that phone calls provide. Phone calls offer several unique advantages. They provide immediacy and real-time problem-solving. Complex issues, urgent matters, or misunderstandings can be resolved far more quickly and effectively in a live conversation than through back-and-forth emails, allowing for instant clarification. The ability to convey tone and emotion is also key, as voice conveys empathy, urgency, sincerity, and enthusiasm in a way text cannot, which is vital for building rapport, de-escalating conflicts, or providing emotional support to a client. Phone calls excel at building rapport and relationships because the human voice creates a personal connection. For sales, customer service, or networking, a phone call can build trust and rapport much faster than text-based communication. For complex discussions like brainstorming, negotiation, or detailed explanations, a phone call allows for dynamic give-and-take questions and immediate adjustments to understanding. Lastly, phone calls offer greater accessibility as they are often more convenient for individuals who may not have strong typing skills, have visual impairments, or simply prefer verbal communication. So, while digital tools handle many communication needs, phone calls remain indispensable for high-stakes, nuanced, and relationship-driven interactions. In your view, what are the ultimate benefits or transformations that an individual gains from truly mastering the art of making and receiving phone calls professionally? Eleanor. David, your analysis of the enduring and unique advantages of phone calls is precisely why I believe this skill remains paramount. The digital age has indeed refined its role, but not diminished its necessity. The ultimate benefits and transformations that an individual gains from truly mastering the art of making and receiving phone calls professionally are manifold and deeply impactful. For individuals, it cultivates enhanced clarity and precision in their verbal communication, forcing them to articulate thoughts without relying on visual aids, which sharpens their overall communication skills. This mastery significantly boosts professional confidence and self-efficacy, as they become adept at navigating various scenarios, from routine inquiries to conflict resolution. It fosters stronger interpersonal relationships, as the ability to convey empathy, build rapport, and actively listen over the phone translates into more meaningful connections. They become adept at problem-solving in real time, adapting their approach based on immediate verbal cues. Moreover, it demonstrates professionalism and reliability, making them a more trusted and effective colleague, partner, or service provider. For organizations, a workforce proficient in phone communication translates into superior customer service, leading to higher satisfaction and retention. It ensures operational efficiency by reducing miscommunications and accelerating decision-making. It strengthens the company's reputation through consistent, positive interactions. Ultimately, mastering phone calls is a cornerstone of effective business operations and personal brand building, transforming mere conversations into powerful tools for success. Practice session. Expressing yourself. Let's revisit some valuable phrases and concepts from today's in-depth episode. Practice using these in your own descriptions of phone call scenarios. Pre-call mental checklist. A brief mental review before making a call. Purposeful engagement. Ensuring every call has a clear objective. Verbal affirmations. Small words or sounds like, I see, to show you're listening. Empathetic validation. Acknowledging someone's feelings to show understanding. Polite redirection. Gently guiding a conversation back to the main topic. Vocal variety. Changing your tone and pitch to keep listeners engaged. Exponentially more critical. Much, much more important. Meticulous approach. Doing something with great attention to detail. Paradoxical nature. Having seemingly contradictory qualities. Manifold and deeply impactful. Many and having a strong effect. Choose 3 of these phrases and explain how they might be applied in a situation where you need to make or receive a phone call. For example, before calling Mr. Johansson about the project update, I'll run through a pre-call mental checklist to ensure purposeful engagement and cover all key points. When receiving a call from an upset client like Mrs. Davies, I prioritize empathetic validation to acknowledge her frustration before trying to offer solutions. During a complex discussion with our vendor, Mr. Chin, I found that taking a meticulous approach to notes was exponentially more critical due to the technical details involved. Narrator. As Dr. Eleanor Vance and Mr. David Miller so eloquently articulated, mastering the art of making and receiving phone calls is a superpower in today's interconnected world. It's about more than just talking. It's about strategizing, listening, and conveying professionalism with every word. By actively applying techniques like structured openings, empathetic responses, and clear conclusions, you can transform potential communication challenges into pathways for clarity, efficiency, and successful outcomes. This skill is vital for anyone looking to build strong relationships, resolve issues, and advance professionally in any field. Until our next insightful discussion on the English Learning Podcast, keep practicing, keep clarifying, and keep building bridges of understanding with every conversation.